What is up, everybody? It is your boy Dizek of the Dead. We're fresh off of finishing the live stream for WrestleMania 41 Night 1. And I'm here to do a sort of review. I don't often do wrestling content, but I thought, well, since I made a live stream, I might do a review off of this WrestleMania, give my thoughts, because I might make more, wrestling content in the future. So this show was pretty average. The one thing that made it feel like a WrestleMania this year was the main event. Rollins, Punk, and Reigns was a banger. And if you go and you look into the live stream I did recently, you'll see early on in the live stream I call it exactly as it plays out. I said that Rollins would win the match because he has Paul Heyman on his side. He gets Paul Heyman to back him. He becomes the next Paul Heyman guy, and Rollins wins, and it swerves everybody. I'm not the first person to probably have that theory, so I can't take full credit for it, but I was 100% right about it, and you can even see my reaction. It's gold in the live stream. But Jade Cargill versus Naomi was a good match. I hope that's a springboard for Jade Cargill to start her singles run and be a very dominant singles character. So I really like that. El Grande Americano. I was a little bit disappointed with that match, not because it was a bad match. It was a very entertaining and excited match, but I really wanted Rey Mysterio to be in that match, and unfortunately, Rey Mysterio got injured, so he was unable to compete. Meanwhile, Rey Fenix steps in, and that's not a bad thing at all. Rey Fenix is great. So we got to see Rey Fenix debut at WrestleMania, which is phenomenal. But El Grande Americano won. Um, Still another year, another WrestleMania with no Chad Gable. That's really upsetting to me. And also no Rey Mysterio. I wasn't having that. I wasn't happy about that. But at least we got to see Rey Fenix at WrestleMania. That's a thumbs up for me. Uh, I came in a little bit late to the live stream, so I missed the opening part of, I mean, mostly the entrances of Gunther and Jey Uso. But I predicted that Jey Uso would win, and who would have guessed? He also won. And it was a very heartfelt, very feel good WrestleMania win. I'm glad they opened up the show with that because I'm like 90% sure this year's WrestleMania on both nights, there's no happy endings. We'll have happy starts, but the endings will not be happy. Tonight's case proves that with Seth Rollins taking Heyman's side, or Heyman taking Rollins' side and taking the W. And that was an ending that was a shock ending, more like a cliffhanger, not really a happy ending. The bad guys won that one, and Rollins swerved everybody with a twist heel turn. Uh, so that's not really a happy ending. Tomorrow night, for night two, I'll get into my thoughts about that here in a minute, but I don't think that's going to be a happy ending either. So it's good that we had a happy ending for Jey Uso. Jimmy comes out and shares in celebration of his new world title win, and Gunther's probably going to go and take a couple months off to recover from this loss. But the build up for that was pretty good. Uh, Unfortunately, the build up to this year's WrestleMania didn't feel like a good build up. Um, that doesn't mean that this show was mediocre. It's just like it didn't live up to full WrestleMania potential, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just old fashioned. Maybe I just am running off of nostalgia here. But the only match that really feels like a WrestleMania match was the end match, the main event. That's not throwing shade on the other matches. It's just they felt like very average, normal PLE pay per view matches. Not throwing shade. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair was pretty good. I was very invested in that, and Tiffany Stratton comes out with the win. Charlotte Flair gives her respect in the end. I think the build up for that one was more interesting than anything else. Um, I didn't really give a fuck about the New Day versus War Raiders match. Um, I don't think they capitalized on the New Day's heat as heels. But they did have the New Day cheat to win, so they are kind of going with that. They are capitalizing on their heel potential. But other than that, I didn't really care for that match, to be honest. It didn't really do it for me. Um, but it's what are you gonna do about that? I also watched NXT earlier on in the day, and this a little side note here. I watched NXT Stand and Deliver. Not much to gawk at with that one, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Obafemi, he retains the title against Javon Evans and Trick Williams in a pretty good match. When I thought Javon Evans was probably going to win and shock the world, Stephanie Bakura beats Jordan Grace, Julia, and Jada Parker with like not a shocker to me at all. Sol Ruka is the new NXT Women's North American Champion in a great ladder match. Roxanne Perez turns on Cora Jade again, which was kind of boring, but whatever. For Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley to get a opportunity to face for the NXT World Championship or NXT the women's tag. There's so many fucking titles. The women's tag team titles on NXT this Tuesday. But that was in the pre-show, so the other characters like hardly matters. But Ricky Saints beats Ethan Page. That was a good match too. Call back to some AEW stuff. The one thing about the NXT show, sorry, we had the D'Angelo family take on Dark State, who I like to call Derp State because Derp State is stupid. And Dark State, who gives a fuck? They won. But Channing Stacks Lorenzo turns on D'Angelo and the D'Angelo family. And that was the most interesting part of that show, really, to me. So that was just a little brief summary of that. I'm trying to think about what else was in this show. I think I covered most of it, but this was a pretty solid 7 out of 10 for, I mean, it is night one. To be fair, it is night one. So I wasn't expecting full on bangers every single time. It is WrestleMania. There's a lot to fill in these, shows. But, it's a pretty competent show. It wasn't insultingly bad. It wasn't anything like that. There was a few moments where I was like kind of bored and looked at my phone more than anything. But the show was overall pretty good. Like I said, it's a 7 out of 10. But what really sticks the landing is the main event. The main event between Punk, Rollins, and Reigns. I think that's what really solidifies this as a good WrestleMania ending, as a WrestleMania show. Because the build-up wasn't that great for everybody, and they kind of had to compensate in the show itself rather than rely off the potential of the build-up. But other than that, night one, pretty good, not great. Tomorrow night will probably be better. I'm not holding my breath for that because tomorrow night's not going to have a happy ending. And that's where I'm getting at. This is my prediction for tomorrow. I'm not going to give you predictions on all the other matches. I'm only going to focus on the main event. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Everybody asked me, what do you think about Cody Rhodes versus John Cena? Who's going to win that? One of two things is going to happen. And at least in my prediction. If I was right about Seth Rollins turning heel and getting the favor of Paul Heyman on his side, then I could be right about this as well. So my predictions, there's one of two things is going to happen. Either A, John Cena is going to beat the piss out of Cody Rhodes and take the title, and we're going to have a tyrant champion, a evil John Cena tyrant champion with his reign of terror over the summer for the next couple months as Cena reigns supreme, right? And then we'll build up Cody Rhodes by the end of the year to return and dethrone John Cena for his retirement match. That's option number one, so that we can keep Cody Rhodes a babyface and keep John Cena's heel momentum going. Option number two, which is a very interesting option, and I don't know why they would do it, but I didn't consider it until last night's Friday Night SmackDown when Cody Rhodes was having a promo battle with John Cena and the crowd started booing Cody. And with everybody saying that John Cena is right, John Cena's philosophy here is right, and that Cody Rhodes is, he's not seeing that John Cena is actually correct. What the option two here could happen is The Rock could come out. Cena will beat Cody Rhodes so bad, but Cody Rhodes still, for the life of him, can't beat Cena. And we have a stalemate. This might be an hour-long match between Rhodes and Cena. We're talking 30 minutes to an hour-long match where Cena beats the crap out of Rhodes. And either Cena takes the belt or The Rock comes in and The Rock says, Cody, be my champion. And Cody is forced to sell his soul to The Rock and then does some dirty tactics with The Rock to finally beat Cena. And so Cody would then turn heel while conversely Cena would turn face. And then we'll have Cena have a redemption arc. That's why I think they didn't go full heel turn with him. They made him more of a realistic John Cena, realistic veteran that embraced a heel side rather than a full, oh, I'm just a generic bad guy, right? I'm just attacking Cody Rhodes all the time and, like the final boss character. But Cena, it feels more genuine, feels still like more like himself. Like he's not turning on the audience turned on him, right? That's sort of what the psychology of that's been. So that way you could easily have him still maintain a baby face potentially, because people still cheer John Cena now. So it's very possible that Cody Rhodes could turn heel at WrestleMania Night 2 and be The Rock's champion. And we'll see what happens from there. I have a hard time believing that Rhodes is going to beat Cena clean as a babyface. It feels too boring. It feels like it hasn't been built up correctly doing that. And because every time Rhodes gets in the ring with Cena these last couple weeks, Rhodes beats Cena. Rhodes kicks Cena's ass and then walks out. Given that the crowd is starting to boo Cody, I'm led to believe that Cody Rhodes is going to turn heel and join The Rock at Night 2, while Cena realizes that he fucked up by turning against the audience. Right? That's just my prediction. It's either going to be Cena beats Rhodes and then we have a Reign of Terror world champion John Cena, or Rhodes sells his soul to The Rock and beats Cena in the most dirty, vile way possible. Those are my two predictions. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Pretty good start to WrestleMania weekend. Let's see how it goes. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Am I right, ladies? So let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for Night 2 of WrestleMania's live stream. Happy Easter, everybody. Don't smoke crack.